Perhaps you have asked yourself, why, among all the living beings, did the universe send me a cat? Paramahansa Yogananda once said, when your heart is calm enough, God will send you a little friend so that you can learn to love without expecting anything in return. I did not fully understand that sentence until one day a small creature with deep eyes and soft fur entered my life, a cat. I realized no meeting in the universe is accidental. Every soul, no matter how small, carries a piece of a message from above to enlighten some part of us that needs to be awakened. The souls of cats, messengers of silence. In Indian spiritual traditions, every animal has a guna, an energetic quality that represents the essence of the soul. Cats carry the energy of sattva guna, a state of purity, stillness, observation, and wisdom. Paramahansa Yogananda once said, pure souls are not noisy, not ostentatious. They exist like a gentle breeze, like the moon reflected on a lake, still and luminous. Cats are the embodiment of that quality. They move naturally between the material and the energy worlds. In many ancient civilizations, from Egypt to India to Tibet, cats have always been considered guardians of subtle realms. Have you noticed that when you are sad, anxious, or stressed, cats tend to come closer to you? It is no coincidence. They sense your energy vibrations, and by lying next to you, they help absorb, transform, and balance that frequency. It is a natural healing power that does not require words. In meditation, people learn to observe without reacting. Cats live exactly like that. They look, listen, empathize, and then return to stillness. This is meditation in form, an expression of awareness and stillness. When you see a cat lying still for hours, do not think it is lazy. It is teaching you one of the most profound lessons. Doing nothing is also a state of Zen. Yogananda once said, God is not far away. He is in every breath of life. Look into the eye of a living being, and if your heart is pure enough, you will see him there. So, when you look into the eyes of a cat, you are probably looking into your own soul, the quiet, peaceful, infinite part of yourself. What does the universe teach through a cat? If you look at life through the eyes of your mind, you will realize that everything around us is a lesson in disguise. Paramahansa Yogananda once said, God does not speak to you only through prayer. He whispers through the eyes of loving beings. And the cat is one of those whispers. It does not preach, does not teach, does not write philosophy, but it lives fully in that philosophy, the philosophy of being, pure existence. 1. The first lesson, silence is the path to understanding. When you observe a cat, you will see. It can sit for hours, just looking out the window, doing nothing. Not restless, not worried, not searching. Humans are the opposite. Always moving, always thinking, always afraid of missing something. We forget that stillness is the foundation of all wisdom. Yogananda taught, the stillness of the mind is the gateway to God. When you stop, God begins to move within you. Cats teach you this without saying a word. Just by being, gently, peacefully, inactive, they show you that the world is still moving even when you're not doing anything. That not all great things come from doing. Sometimes, the greatest thing is the ability to stop and be present. When you spend enough time with cats, you will find yourself slowing down, listening more, and beginning to appreciate the simple moments. That is a sign that you are learning the art of meditation from the universe itself in the form of a silent being. 2. Lesson 2. Know how to keep your energy boundaries. One of the most special qualities of cats is that they are very clear about their own energy. They know when to be near you and when to have their own space. They don't try to please anyone. They are true to their own energy. This is a lesson in energetic integrity, something that many people lose when they try to please others, when they trade their energy for approval. Yogananda once said, "Do not let your soul dissolve into the noise of the world. You must know how to keep your own sanctuary in your heart." Cats live in that energetic sanctuary. They have the ability to close the door of their energy when they don't want to be invaded. The universe teaches you through cats. Not everyone who knocks on the door of your heart needs to be invited in. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to open your heart unconditionally in every situation. True love is not about giving up, but about loving with wisdom. Cats teach you to love without losing yourself. 3. Lesson 3. Trust in natural law. The cat does not plan for the future. It does not worry about tomorrow's meal. It does not compare itself with anyone. It surrenders completely to the flow of life. The universe wants to remind you that life does not need control, only harmony. Control comes from fear, and harmony comes from faith in the law of divine order. Yogananda said, "When you learn to trust in the divine order, everything falls into place." Look at the cat. It does nothing, but everything it needs is provided. You feed it, you care for it, you love it. That is how God takes care of you, when you trust and let go of attachment. 4. Lesson 4. The art of observing without judgment. In meditation, the practitioner learns to observe without interfering. The cat does it naturally. It looks at you without judgment, whether you cry, whether you are angry, whether you are silent. The cat's eyes that contain understanding beyond reason. Looking into them, you will see an energetic layer of witnessing consciousness. A consciousness that just sees, does not react. Yogananda taught, it is in observing without judgment that you begin to become God. When you practice observing emotions, thoughts, or other people the way a cat sees life, you are entering the deepest level of mindfulness, pure awareness. The universe sends the cat to remind you, don't react to everything. Look, understand, then let everything pass in silence. That is how you release negative energy without fighting. 5. Lesson 5. Energy transformation, when silence becomes healing. Have you ever noticed that, just by lying next to a cat, you feel lighter, safer, and more peaceful? This is not just an emotion, but an energetic phenomenon. The cat's body emits a frequency ranging from 25 to 150 Hz, which corresponds to the frequency of tissue and bone healing in modern energy medicine. But on a spiritual level, it is a frequency of relaxation and acceptance. When you meditate, or simply breathe in rhythm with a cat, your energy field begins to synchronize with its peace. It is a form of meditation without words, a natural vibrational therapy sent by the universe to help you learn to heal through presence, not action. Yogananda once taught, the sound of the soul is not words, but the rhythm of peace. And the cat is that harmony, a soul that knows how to resonate the rhythm of peace in your space. 6. Lesson 6. Freedom is the true nature of the soul. If you have ever tried to force a cat to do something, you will know that it never listens completely. It is free, independent, and faithful to its own nature. It is not stubbornness. It is the wisdom of the free soul. Yogananda taught that the soul is inherently free, but humans are bound by fear, by society, by comparison. The cat lives as its true self, selfless, undemanding, free. It does not pretend, does not flatter, does not fear rejection. It is just itself. The universe sends the cat to teach you. No one can bind your soul but you. When you dare to live true to your nature, you are also living like a cat. And that is the highest form of Zen, living truly, living freely, living in the present. 7. The last lesson, love needs no words. The cat doesn't speak, but you understand it. The universe wants to remind you that love needs no language. Love is energy. It is frequency. It is the vibration of the heart. When you and your cat are together in silence, that is when God is smiling in the form of two souls merging into one. Yogananda once said, "When you love, you speak the language of God." And indeed, with every touch, every look, every moment of silence, you are meditating, praying, and walking the path of enlightenment without ever leaving the room where your little cat lies peacefully in your lap. Karma and the meeting between human and cat souls. Yogananda once said in a satsang, "Not a single leaf falls without God's permission. No soul touches our lives without divine significance." We often think we choose a cat to raise, but on a deeper level of the universe, it is the cat's soul that chooses you. 1. Meetings are never accidental. According to Yogananda, our lives are woven from countless invisible threads. Every soul we meet in life, human or animal, has a role to play in this cosmic drama. Perhaps in a past life, you were its savior, or it was its companion in your loneliest moments. And now, in the form of a cat, that spirit returns to remind you of the old lesson of compassion, love, and presence. 2. The cat spirit and the karma of compassion. Every act of love you give to a cat, from brushing, petting, to saving it from illness, dissolves a part of your old karma, not because you pay back someone, but because you are transforming energy. Yogananda said, "When you act from love, karma dissolves like dew in the sunlight." Love for a nonverbal being is a pure form of love, unconditional bhakti. You do not love it for its name, for its gratitude, or for its return. You love it simply because your soul resonates with its soul. That is the karma of compassion, and that heals the deep wounds you have carried through many lifetimes. 3. Energy reflection. When cats see, you're unconscious. Cats have very strong intuition. They sense energy faster than human reason. Yogananda once taught, "Spirits that do not speak in words, but live in frequencies, are often purer than we are." When you are sad, cats lie by your side. When you are angry, cats stay away. When you meditate, cats often come near, because the meditation energy emits a peaceful frequency in harmony with their nature. All these reactions are not random. It is a reflection of your own energy field. If you want to know if your mind is at peace, look at how your cat behaves when you are near. They are subtle mirrors. If you are anxious, cats become alert. If you are at peace, cats also lie lazily still. Therefore, the presence of a cat in your life is not only a joy, but also a measure of your own spiritual energy. For karma between human and cat souls, invisible contracts. Maybe your cat's soul promised, "When you forget to love, I will come to help you remember." Or on the contrary, you once vowed, "If I have the chance, I will protect you, no matter what form you are in." And then, at the most appropriate moment, when you are lonely, when your heart is tired, or when your spirit is about to transform, the universe brings those two souls together in a seemingly ordinary but strangely sacred reunion. It is not by chance that you meet that cat among millions of other cats in the world. It is not by chance that the first glance makes you tremble. 5. When you love a cat, you are expanding the boundaries of your soul. Yogananda always taught, love is the only energy that can penetrate all boundaries, between people and people, between people and all things. When you love a being of a different species, your heart begins to expand beyond a human ego. And then, the karma between you and the cat is no longer old karma to be paid, but becomes good karma for evolution. It becomes a pure energy thread, nourishing both souls to supplement. You teach it about safety, and it teaches you about presence. You give it food, and it gives you peace. You save its body, and it saves your soul. 6. When karma is complete, the soul will leave. Someone once told me, "I lost my cat. It left suddenly, and I was heartbroken." But if you look at it from Yogananda's perspective, you will understand. No one really loses anyone. The soul only changes form to continue its evolutionary journey. If the cat leaves, perhaps the soul contract between you and it is complete. Your lesson of love, of letting go, of gratitude is complete, and it leaves, taking your light with it, to sow elsewhere. Know that, in the energy realm, all souls are still connected. Every time you remember it with love, a light still radiates. That is the current of divine love, what Yogananda called the divine magnetic field of love. So, do not cry for the loss. Smile for the encounter that happened, because there is no separation in the spirit realm. There are only good karmic circles, continuing, opening, and illuminating the path back home.